All right, I'm on break.
The break room.
Here's this week's questions. Our first question comes from a deli employee who asked, why do I need to know things on the ServSafe test that have nothing to do with my job? Well, I know that can be frustrating because it's a situation or a product or a piece of equipment that you don't even use. And the reason is because your certification is for 5 years. So in that 5 years, I hope you have great tenure at your job, but if you switch positions or switch and work for a different company, you're gonna come in contact with product, equipment, procedures that you may not have known before, but that you need to know now because you have your certification. The test is checking whether you can identify a food safety risk no matter where you're working. That's the important thing. Handing an employee a book and saying good luck, that's not training. Training is really explaining why the rules are there and how we can make sure we're following them for food safety. So yes, you may be trained on lots of things that maybe you don't work with now, but a lot can change over the next 5 years. Our next question comes from Rob DuPont. If food has been sitting out, can you cool it back down and put it in the refrigerator? The short answer is, it depends. This is where people start combining different rules like cold holding versus hot holding versus the cool down process. And sometimes you may not even be using temperature and only monitoring by time. Let me break it down for you. The cool down process is a total of 6 hours. So the food has to get below 41 in that time. That's the requirement. It can get done faster, but never longer. Another special rule about the cool down process is that you have to get that food below 70 degrees within 2 hours. If it takes longer than 2 hours, you have two options. You can reheat it and start over the cool down process, or you can just discard it. So let's apply this to cold holding. Let's say it's been 2 hours and you've been holding cold food between 41 degrees and 70 degrees. If it's only been 2 hours, you can put it back in the fridge. Let's say it's been longer than 2 hours. Well, you can keep holding it for 6 hours as long as it never goes above 70. If it does go above 70, well then you can hold it for only 4 hours. If you sell it, it's fine, but if you don't, you've got to discard it. Austin Allison asked why a rule changed from 4 hours to 2 hours, and other people ask similar questions like why the food code changes at all. Here's some reasoning behind that. The food code is published by the FDA, and regulatory authorities like your local health department, they use those guidelines to create rules to make sure people stay safe. So it could be that a restaurant chain in 2 different areas has different rules for holding. When it comes to other things changing, think about pathogens and outbreaks. The science is always changing, and as it changes, the food code needs to be updated. Then think about technology, equipment, policies, procedures. As we're learning more and getting more efficient, the food code has to change in order to make sure we're regulating those procedures and equipment effectively. So when you see a food safety rule change, it's either because locally it got tightened and more strict, or the food code got updated because we're learning more and things are changing. All right, that's it for this week, and keep asking questions and I'll keep answering.
The break room.